guys, and welcome to my channel and the life of a cam. Today I want to discuss something that has been heavily analyzed on YouTube, and that is coronavirus and the effects of lockdown. Now, I'm not going to get into details of what coronavirus is because, truthfully, if you don't know at this point, you're probably living under a rock. However, I would like to discuss 3 things that I've noticed while being on lockdown. 1, the effects of social media, and in particular Instagram stories. 2, the concept of enforced me time, which I will be explaining later in my video. And 3, the most important I find, let it go. Admit to yourself, admit to the fact that you can't control this. And I'm also going to give you guys some tips that have helped me during this time deal with the whole situation. Now, before I continue, if you like what I'm saying or want to hear more about me, subscribe to my channel. Hopefully the link is somewhere here. Or give me a thumbs up. You know you want to. So the first topic, like I said, that I want to discuss about is social media, and in particular Instagram stories. Now, this is something that I've noticed, and feel free to comment below if this is something that has also turned up on your feed. The first stories you see on Instagram during a lockdown is kind of what I would imagine a high-end celebrity rehab being. Even though I've never been to a celebrity rehab, or any rehab that is. But it's kind of like the ideal me time, or the ideal if I didn't have a job or I'm on vacation and I have to be in the house time. So it's candlelight dinners, cooking, sitting next to your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your family, your pet, your goldfish. And yeah, I said goldfish because I saw this video of this guy holding a goldfish while watching Netflix and chilling. I mean, he wasn't actually holding the goldfish, he had like the bowl, but anyways, you get the point. And here's the thing. As the days progress, you can literally see the mental progression of these people, or for some, the mental descent. As they start feeling those shackles of lockdown, those 4 walls closing in. I'm gonna stop before I start hyperventilating. So, for example, you see people clubbing in their kitchens and having socials in their bedroom, basically trying to emulate what they had out there in here. Now, there are some people that I've noticed that have taken it to another level. For example, one of my acquaintances, because let's face it, our Instagram friends that are actually friends are pretty limited. Most of them are just acquaintances. So one of my acquaintances decided to take it to the next level. So she decided to host a karaoke night in her bathroom, in her bathtub, while holding a shower head as a microphone. But that wasn't even the most disturbing part. The most disturbing part is she had an audience. So, by the way, she wasn't naked. They were actually hosting a karaoke night. Just putting that in. So here she is singing her tone-deaf ass off with her flatmate, her dog, and 2 other friends that she had Skyped with. Now, if someone from the past time traveled to the future and saw this, they would think that we were insane. They would probably lock us all up. However, it's funny how time and unusual, unpredictable situations put this thing into context. Because now it's like, yeah, why wouldn't I host a karaoke in my bathroom? I mean, have you heard the acoustics? Why does everyone want to sing in the shower? So when you're looking at these stories, I find that you have 2 sides, 2 ways of taking in. There's a fly in my room. Anyways, so they have 2 ways of taking this in. First, you feel suddenly a huge sense of unity, this fragile humanity that we are all in this together. Second, that's kind of the negative part of this. You can view it as what you're missing out on. or that this person in the bathtub singing their tone deaf ass off is dealing with it better. Try and take those challenges and use them as ideas of things that you could do. Use it as like inspiration and not as comparison. Don't let it get you down, because that is something that I've personally experienced sometimes when I'm watching those social media, those Instagram stories. And now, for my chronically ill friends out there, lockdown means something entirely different for us. When I found out that we may have to self-isolate and that we will be put on lockdown, my first thought wasn't food, wasn't toilet paper, which I'm not even going to get into. It was the terrifying realization that my life depends on those small little pills that I take on a daily basis. So for us chronically ill, or for people that are dependent on medication, it is terrifying. It is terrifying to think that you may run out, that people may go crazy like toilet paper and suddenly you will not have medication. But try and take that panic and create something logic out of it. I know it's really hard, but think, okay, how many months do I have, or do I have a month's supply? Try and not get into that panic mentality that led to a shortage in toilet paper or in canned goods. Think, okay, I have my medication, and if I and everyone else, and please, I emphasize this for everyone else out there who is dependent on medication, do not go crazy. Do not go and buy up all the medication. Do not stock up for 6 months. I know you really want to. Maybe if you feel safe, I've stocked up for 1 more month. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. But you also have to think about the rest of your buddies out there that may be on the same medication that you are. So the second thing I want to talk about is this idea of enforced me time. Many of us, or I would say most of us, at some point in our life have wanted to have me time. We've wanted to block out the rest of the world, stay in bed, Netflix and chill, eat whatever we want, do whatever we want, and forget that the rest of the world exists. Now, we are given this opportunity. Nature has put us on a major timeout. However, when this me time is enforced, not the same thing. Not many of us were ready for all this me time. I mean, unless you are a serious introvert or one of those doomsday preppers where you're waiting for the apocalypse to happen, no one expected to have to be sent to their homes, to their rooms, as if we're children, and being on lockdown. For those working from home, that we may have that 9 to 5 simulation that we are working right now, it's not the same thing. And some of us are not ready for all this me time. We are bombarded every day by a myriad of questions. Small questions that seem right now insignificant, such as, what am I going to cook? What am I going to wear? Should I go to the gym? Have I lost weight? Have I gained weight? That keep us sane from the bigger questions out there. Am I a good person? Who am I? Who am I in terms of the world, and who am I in terms of me? What am I doing with my life? What have I done in my life? And some of us are like, whoa, don't want to go there yet. Now, when we are ready to face those questions, some of us actively seek out to do so. Some of us want to find out those answers, whether that is through a friend, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. However, right now, we didn't ask for this. And some of us are not ready for all this me time. And that's okay. It's okay to not be ready to find out yourself, especially under these circumstances. And this is like one of the tips that I told you guys in the beginning of this video that helped me. You are allowed to melt down. And ironically, you can have a lockdown meltdown. Now, what is that? You have literally created a safe space from the rest of the world where you can have a lockdown meltdown. You can fall apart, and that's fine. And you even have the place to do it. And you have the time to do it. Because sometimes meltdowns are a luxury. We don't always have the time to melt down. But now, once you close that laptop, once you're done with that 9 to 5 job and you can't go for drinks, you can't go to the gym, and you're in that house, go crazy. Have a meltdown. It's fine. And trust me, when you do, you will feel so much better. Admitting that you don't control the situation is part of the process of dealing with this, I feel. But one thing that I'd really like to emphasize, one thing that I've had to come to terms with, that I had to realize, is just because our bodies, our physical presence is on lockdown, doesn't mean our emotions, our psychology are. So just because you're self-isolating from the rest of the world does not mean that you should self-isolate from yourself. Just because this is on lockdown doesn't mean this is on lockdown. So like I said, have a meltdown. Let yourself feel all those things that you've repressed on a daily basis for many years. And then pick yourself up. Start thinking, you know what? What do I want to do? And if you don't have the answers, that's fine. That's fine. Zone out. Which brings me to my third point. Let it go. Admit to yourself, this sucks. Being on lockdown sucks. Stop comparing yourself to the rest of the world. Do not compare your Instagram stories. Do not compare the fact that you're healthy and that person out there might have the virus. Right now, you only have yourself to deal with. So block everyone else out. And like I said, if you don't have the answers, if you're not ready for all that me time, it's fine. I mean, personally, I started a YouTube channel. But that's just me. And another thing is that not all of us can make the best out of a situation. And again, that's fine. Because if we could all make the best out of a situation, it wouldn't be a compliment. We wouldn't turn around in life and be like, hey, I admire you. You always have a positive outlook on life. You always make the best out of everything. Not all of us can make farts into rainbows, and that is fine. So my tip of the day and what I'm doing is just let it go. Admitting to yourself that you can't control things is part of a control. You can't control the fact that you can't control, if that makes any sense at all. And it is liberating to feel that. So, that's it for now. Like I said, if you want to learn more about me and what it is to be a chem, which I will be explaining in the other videos, feel free to push that subscribe button, hopefully it's there, and give me a thumbs up. That's it, folks.